Jordan,
Yep,
we've seen it.
we have.
X-Men Apocalypse. What do you think? What did you think?
Well, good use of past tense there, Sam.
I guess you're still thinking it.
I am.
What do you think?
I thought it was alright. It was, it was an X-Men film.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I think everyone's been saying about it. It's an X-Men film.
As soon as you make an X-Men film, you cap its level of success. As soon as you name it X-Men, it can only be so good.
Exactly. I guess if it was named anything else, like, no one would see it though.
Yeah.
It's sort of like they're forced to call it X-Men because it is X-Men. But,
It is X-Men.
yeah.
I can confirm, for all of you out there,
This is an X-Men film.
I mean, it started off good though, didn't it? I mean, that intro.
Yeah.
The intro.
Yeah, the opening is
hook
really
you.
cool.
It is a hook, and you're like, cool.
Yeah.
Please live up
introduces
to
you
the rest.
to
You want the rest of the film to live up to the intro.
yeah.
That's
It introduces you to the villain like straight away.
which is good.
Gives him a sort of like introduction and a little bit of an origin, and you sort of learn about him a little bit, which is really good. And it was a good way to start it.
What?
And then you go into where does it go from there? It's then you get reintroduced to Xavier's school,
Yes.
and
of course.
and it actually looks like a school for once.
It does. It looks like a
and-
very English.
Great.
school.
Yeah, even though it's in America.
Looks like a typical British house.
There is that one joke about it being British, as well, which is quite funny, which I
Yeah.
won't spoil.
Okay.
Because it was gave us a good giggle.
It did. Although I have to say, the intro had a fucking great. Oh, that's one. Cut that bit.
Fuck it.
The intro did have a good soundtrack though. Like that was where
yeah.
the soundtrack was most noticeable, was during that intro.
Yeah, you said when we came out that the soundtrack was really great. I didn't really notice it, and I'm a music guy, but
Yeah, I'm a
I
film
didn't really
guy,
notice it.
and he's a music guy, and I noticed the soundtrack.
I guess maybe you noticed the score better because you do film and you sort of
I have
know
to have scores made. And
the behind the scenes of all the stuff in film. It's like when I listen to music, I hear it. But yeah.
I mean, what did you think about Apocalypse though? Because I thought he was a bit not that scary.
Okay, so one, he looks weird.
He does look weird.
He doesn't look like he
Stupid
does in the
costume.
comics.
Yeah.
Like he looks so cool in the comics, and he just looks weird.
We were
in
having
this.
a laugh, weren't we, during the film? Because there's scenes where he's sort of in a normal environment, just
Yeah.
like walking around, and he looks utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, he looks so
He's
stupid.
just in this really big costume where you can tell Oscar Isaac can barely move in it,
Yeah, it's
and he just looks stupid. And it's just in some of the shots he looks awesome and epic, but in
Exactly.
most of them he just looks.
like they didn't need Oscar Isaac.
They could
They
use
really didn't.
anyone.
He's a great actor, and they didn't need him. They could have got a really big guy and made him more intimidating.
because
But instead,
Oscar Isaac
they
isn't
got
very tall.
they got this short Oscar Isaac who literally you wouldn't even recognize him if you didn't know it was him. You wouldn't.
The only time
be
you
able to
recognise him is right at the beginning of the film, where you see him
Yeah.
not as Apocalypse.
Exactly, and yeah, he's got so much like facial makeup, like so much makeup and prosthetic. I can't say a word on and like this massive suit, but then he's so short.
Yeah, he
And it's
looks
just
very
like
stubby.
why? Oh,
Although
but so he was sort of intimidating at certain bits, but I found that he was really inconsistent, like visually. I don't know if you noticed it, but like his color changed a lot. It would be more saturated sometimes.
sometimes he
And
was sort of
sometimes he'd be
grey,
more yeah,
and then other times he's
sometimes
like Ivan Ooze from Mighty Morphin
Yeah.
Power Rangers.
like yeah, exactly. I noticed that, and I thought if they made him grey, it would be better because he was grey in the
He
comics.
was grey in the comics, and he was also big.
Yeah, exactly. Because every X-Men character is either a human being or blue. Like everyone is blue, and so they made
Yeah.
Apocalypse blue as well. So everyone is just blue. It's like stop being blue.
I mean, bluest.
Exactly.
God. I mean, Quicksilver though.
Oh man.
I hadn't seen X-Men Days of Future Past, so I hadn't been introduced to Quicksilver yet, but he was fantastic.
Yeah, there's a fantastic sequence in Days of Future Past with Quicksilver when you sort of almost when you first meet him, where he like saves the day and he stops time. You see him, you see like his power from his point of view, everything's really like basically stopped, and he's just walking around fixing stuff. And in this, when he shows up, it's just like that on steroids. It's just so enjoyable to watch.
I think it's safe to say they blew their CG budget on that scene, because it was a bit dodgy. The CGI from then on.
Yeah, it's like that sequence is great, and then from then on, like whenever you see, like in a lot of films, you have replacement people, like CGI replacements.
I mean, Deadpool
for action
essentially
scenes and stuff.
was CGI for most of the
Yeah,
film.
a lot of Deadpool was CG, but you don't notice it because it was so good. And pretty much all of their tiny budget of Deadpool was spent on the CG, I guess. And in this, it was so obvious when there was replacement people, like in the final fight sequence especially. But I mean, it didn't take away from the film too much, because I think the average viewer would notice that sort of thing.
Do you know? I think the film has enough really good moments in it, because it does have some really good bits, like where you think, this is a great film. It just sort of doesn't carry on.
Exactly. Like there's some really great moments, but then it's still an X-Men film at the end of the day. Like, and the tone sort of shifts quite a lot. Like this one is a lot more. There's a lot more comedy in this one. There's a lot more funny moments,
which I
from
think
Xavier as
also,
well, which is.
I think that also takes away from the villain as well, because the film is sort of comical, it doesn't make Apocalypse particularly scary.
Yeah, like there's a sequence where Quicksilver fights him, and you're just thinking, no. Like
they take away, like they never set Apocalypse up to be a particularly scary character. They sort of do, but you never think, oh, he's so scary.
Yeah, exactly.
But then they have little moments where you think, oh my god, what are you doing? Like, you're just ruining him as a character.
Magneto is a better villain in this than Apocalypse, really, and he's not really a villain.
The good thing about Magneto though is he's like Kylo Ren in that he's so complicated.
Yeah.
You never know what he's thinking about. He's so all over the place. He's so inconsistent that he could do something different every time you see him.
Exactly.
Good, he's bad. He's good, he's bad. Which, I mean, Apocalypse is just bad. He sets up what he wants to destroy the world, and that's it.
And like with the other four horsemen, it's like you see Angel, which for one I could not take seriously because he was in EastEnders.
Yeah.
And so he's gone from being like a soap actor to being in X-Men, and I just
stupid.
And he had an American accent, and I couldn't take him seriously at all.
No.
And then you've got oh my god, what was her name? I can't remember her name. The one with the swords. Yeah,
she was pathetic. I didn't.
She didn't scare me. And she looks like her costume, right, is really accurate to the comics, but not for the film. She looks so out of place in this like skimpy outfit.
I think the biggest problem I had with the film though is that pretty early on they set the four horsemen up to be these ridiculously powerful and crazy beings, and then the four horsemen that eventually get picked are really disappointing. I mean, it has to be said, Apocalypse is a bloody good fashion designer and architect.
Yeah.
Because he designs all of their costumes out of sand. And,
he just makes their costumes. It's really cool. His powers, like all that sort of stuff, was really cool. And Magneto is like more powerful than he's ever been in this film, and it's really cool. And then you've got Storm, who doesn't really do much. When she does use her powers, it's really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you've got Angel and the other bitch. I can't remember her name. What is her name? They only said it like twice in the film. But I can't remember.
But yeah, it's a very X-Men storyline. It's very predictable.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence is nowhere near as bad in it as she was made out to be. Like, she was fine. She's not going to win an Oscar for it, but she was fine.
Yeah, exactly. She was fine.
But with that, what would you give it out of 10?
Oh, I'm going to go with a 7.
And I am going to agree. Purely because 7, I think, is the most you could ever give an X-Men.
I thought you'd go lower because you gave Civil War a 7.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, they're sort of both similar films. I like a different type of film, superhero films. As much as I enjoy superhero films, I don't love them.
Exactly.
You know,
because I definitely think that this, for us, it's a superhero film, and that's sort of as far as it goes. They introduce more humor, which is sort of what they've done in the Marvel films, but then they've got a bit more violence, which they've done in the DC films. It's sort of a little bit of a mixture that was executed well, but could have been done better.
Yeah,
The villain could have been
I
better.
agree. And again, with me, it comes down to a similar thing with zombie films and games. Was that where they were good at first, but then they got overdone, and I got bored.
Yeah.
And I'm at that point with superhero movies now. I like them at first, but I just find them so predictable. And boring.
I'm definitely not at that point, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And so,
well,
with
anyways,
both with 7s.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. It's an enjoyable film.
go see it.
Some good moments. So
Some bad
it's worth
ones.
seeing.
But yeah, do not forget. I was about to say, do not subscribe.
Don't subscribe.
Don't subscribe,
Otherwise, you get
don't
more videos
like.
like this.
Don't do any. No. Do subscribe.
nothing.
We have
Dislike
got
the
a
video.
whole list of films we are going to see.
Yep.
So stay tuned. Thank you for watching.
Goodbye.
See ya.